It was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he's still, look, he showed up for the job. He got the work done. I think some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Scott Jennings be talking them, boy. Scott Jennings is the man. I had to do a reaction on Scott Jennings because he has been body slamming these liberal fools on CNN ever since he popped up on the scene.
Except for one quibble, and that is, you said there were failures on all sides. There's a lot of failures here. The only person who did not fail was Penny. Penny was a good Samaritan. Mm-hmm. He stood up for his fellow citizens in a moment when a lot of people would have not been able to, would have not wanted to, just could not have summoned the courage or will to do so. And so thank God for the good Samaritans. I think the biggest failure here, honestly, Alvin Bragg is a disgrace. He ought to resign. This man was a hero. He had his name and his life dragged through the mud for absolutely no reason other than he thought it would please radical political constituencies that he has. It is an absolute disgrace what the prosecutors did to this man.
Absolutely.
I don't know where he come from. All I know is he's doing his thing, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it. But there's a particular clip that I want to make sure I react to that Scott Jennings recently did when someone tried to come onto the panel and say that Biden will be leaving office with a legacy. He completely destroys it. And why I have a personal problem with that, and so many other, probably 77 million Americans have a problem with that, is because we know that the legacy lamestream media lied to us for so many years. And the reason why we knew that they lied, because we watched it in real time. We watched Biden's mental decline, Biden's mental acuity decline in real time, starting with them hiding him from any type of public events and being able to campaign in 2020 election so that they can pull the other buffoonery germ fair, the Wuhan Chinese germ fair onto the American people so they can pull the BS that they did in 2020, because that was supposed to be Trump's second administration. But as you see, I'll take the win of where we are now today. We watched it real time. So I want to start with one clip. I'm going to show you a couple clips throughout this video. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you for dropping by. Hit the notification bell. I do mean tweet commentary, AKA fire and brimstone commentary. With that being said, I want to start with the clip with all the Democratic talking heads, the shillers, the people that have been playing defense, lamestream media, refusing to report on this man's this man's mental acuity and his decline. Play the clip.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
And that, my friend, should irritate the shit out of you. They lied for so many years. If you're a Democrat, or you a so-called independent, which is nothing but a Democrat, because most of y'all, all y'all do is vote Democrat, You should be pissed off. You should be angry. It is no surprise that 77 million people rejected the Democratic Party, rejected the regressive lies. It is not a coincidence and no surprise to me and many others that have been screaming this from the rooftop, that this man is not fit to run for office, but they lied to the American people, and that should upset you. And they got the nerve to take this moral high ground and say that they're the party of integrity and the most transparent administration that they've ever had, and they take on the moral high ground of they're the party of law and order. Well, we all seen how that went, which I'll talk about later. We know how he pardoned himself 11 years back with his crack-headed ass son. But I want to play another clip of them actually now, after election and everything, the dust settles, they're acknowledging that, yeah, what was pretty scary was, his mental decline. Play the clip.
One of the things we also do in the year-end correspondence roundtable is dig into what was undercovered or underreported. Jan?
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable in the televised debate.
At the presidential debate with Donald Trump.
Unquestioned. And, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years, and yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary for the Democrats. It could have changed the scope of the entire election. Yeah. Yet, still, incredibly, we read in the Washington Post that his advisors are saying that he regrets that he dropped out of the race. That he thinks he could have beaten Trump. And I think that is either delusional or they're gaslighting.
President Biden has. These people brazenly lied. Don't let mainstream media continue to gaslight you. This story is not new. They blamed it on his stutter. They blamed it on Russian disinformation. They blamed it on cheap fakes. They hid the man and put him on vacation for most of his presidency. They lied. They lied. We all seen him when he fell off the damn bike.
And Dr. Biden, how was anniversary?
We seen all the other times when he was gibberishing out of his mouth and had no clue.
And to the Gila Indian River community, the Gila, nothing wrong with me.
And we seen his angry grandpa moments where he lost control and saying, oh, I'm just trying to be good.
Remember when we got elected, we were told there's going to be a recession? No one's talking about recession on our watch. I'm serious. So, folks, look, I'm trying to be good.
And what kills me is most of them talk about his capacity to lead, but they forget, and it never occurs to them, if he had low capacity or no capacity at all, who was actually leading the nation. So here we are now. Scott Jennings on the panel, absolutely destroying, once again, another defensive player for the Democratic Party, trying to, salvage whatever is left with the Democrats. To me, she just made it worse, the fact that they are still continuing to go on with this lie, talking about Biden's legacy. Play the clip.
But Joe Biden's record with regard to the things that he's accomplished, I think will stand the test of time. Now, what my dear friend Scott and others will talk about, and quite frankly, I'm going to say this, rightfully so, it was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he showed up for the job. He got the work done. I think some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Well, there were more than
including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave office in disgrace. The Hunter Biden pardon was disgraceful. He's going to be remembered largely for inflation and for the disastrous Afghanistan pullout. And I think as we continue to, we're just getting the first draft of this now, but as we continue to learn about the massive cover-up that went on, not about his health, but about his mental acuity, to cover that up, the efforts that were undertaken by the White House staff, by his family, not in the last couple of months, but for all 4 years, I think it's going to be a really ugly chapter. It's a diminished presidency because of it. And I think we still don't know the full extent of what they did to try to hide what they've been doing over in the West Wing.
First of all, Biden's legacy is already in shambles. When he pardoned his crack-headed ass son, going all the way back to 11 years, do you think that pardon was just specifically for Hunter? No, it was a shield. It was a guard for himself, so nobody can come back and get the big man. So that was already a slap in the face to the justice system. It was a slap in the face to the American people. It was a slap in the face to everybody that played defense and lied and purposefully purposefully did not report on not only his mental decline and the fact that he is not capable of leading the country, which leaves us with big question marks on who was leading the country. Maybe what people say, Barack Obama's third term. I don't know. It's possible. This man can't seem to get away. He's like herpes. Anyway, we've seen his decline. His legacy has been in shambles. They lied to the American people, especially the party that takes on that moral stance that they're a law and order and all that old bullshit. But what I wish Scott Jennings would have did, not only just added what the botched job of Afghanistan, I wish he would have added Ukraine and all the other wars. Because under Trump, there was no wars. There was peace in the Middle East. We've seen how inflation was. So yes, his legacy is tarnished. He has no legacy. The only legacy he has that I personally will miss is the back and forth trash talking. That's the only thing. And watching him fall off bikes and mumble and jumble, the man has been a complete disaster to the country. His policies left America in shambles, and the American people are sick of it. We felt it in our pockets. We felt it at the grocery store. We still feel it. We cannot wait for January 20th for Trump to be inaugurated. So I love Scott Jennings. I want him to continue to keep doing what he's doing. We know Biden's legacy, there is no legacy. He has been in politics for over 50-something years and has done nothing but destroy the American people and affect Americans over his policies and viewpoints. Man, but I want to know what your thoughts are on this. I don't want to make the video long. Scott Jennings is a beast. I love how he corrects him. I wish he would have corrected the guy when he brought up Trump, a tarnished legacy is Trump with the J6 and blah, 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 blah. That's a whole nother video. I don't want to make this one too long. Maybe I'll react to that. But I want to know what your thoughts are on Scott Jennings destroying these people. What your thoughts are on Biden's legacy. What's your thoughts on who might have really been running the nation? Because we all watched it real time. We watched his mental acuity decline. We watched him diminish. I want to know what your thoughts are. And if it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out some more mean tweet commentary. It's your boy, Craig Long, 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.